Don't know. Brought me coffee. Ivanka Trump. Who does that? What father uses their daughter's entire name? She doesn't know what she's talking about. Dumb blonde. Too old for me anyway now. What?
He's crazy.
Well, at least he knows her name. He does. Trump doesn't even know Tiffany's name.
Yeah.
Right.
He says the dumb one when he's talking about Eric, I think.
All right. We played Adam Kinzinger, former. Well, no, he's a current Republican, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Who said? Donald Trump, the former president's own party, has largely refused to defend him against allegations made by House Select Committee members. We've seen Republicans say the hearings are a joke. Nobody cares. Time to move on. Joe Biden's a failure. But what we haven't seen are the RNC or Republican leaders coming out and saying, you know what, Trump is right on the substance. The election was rigged. It's like a media void. Why are we not hearing more defense from Donald Trump's own party? Who said that?
Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
No. Howard Kurtz on Fox News.
On Fox News?
It's true. Like they won't say, oh, yes, he's right. It's just, this is such an insane just period we're living through where the Republican Party, I don't understand what their defense is for this. They're Yes.
Fun fact about Howard Kurtz.
Yes.
He was my very first friend on Facebook.
Oh.
I opened my account.
That's
he was
magical.
the first friend request I got.
Oh, that's magical.
Yeah.
Okay.
He turned out to be
All right.
wrong.
All right. Yes.
Everything, but
All right. Adam Kinzinger, who is our twin velociraptor.
If you're going to stand in front of those people and lie to them and tell them Donald Trump's right, the election was stolen, because that has you give me $20 when I send you the next email, or it's way easier for my primary election, we can have no doubt that 80% of the country is going to believe what their leaders are saying. This is where, like, if you're not willing to tell people the truth in America, you shouldn't run for Congress. Like, go do something else. But this should be a position where you can tell the hard truth. And unfortunately, my party has utterly failed the American people at truth. It makes me sad, but it's a fact.
Yeah. Also, I mean, we haven't even got, by the way, when you take a week off, how many more crimes does Donald Trump commit? How many more?
I mean, he just doesn't stop.
Well, what Zoe Lofgren called the big ripoff. Like, that's another crime on top of
Yeah.
original crime, treason, and I don't even, what are we calling all this? I don't even know what subverting, criminal conspiracy, subverting a democracy. But on top of it, $250 million he raised, which was just his latest grift and con.
Mm-hmm.
None of the money went because there was no fraud, so it did not go to any lawsuits trying to defend. $250 million. I mean, these suckers are just, they're endlessly
right.
suckered. It's okay. All right. One more. Adam Kinzinger.
Have you reached the conclusion that President Trump should be prosecuted?
I certainly think the president is guilty of knowing what he did, seditious conspiracy, being involved in these, kind of different segments of pressuring DOJ, vice president, etc. Obviously, we're not a criminal charges committee, so I want to be careful in specifically using that language. But I think what we're presenting before the American people certainly would rise to a level of criminal involvement by a president, and definitely failure of the oath. The oath has to matter here. Your personal demand to stand for the Constitution has to matter. And if you have people that don't regard that at all, there is no law in the world that we can pass that's going to make a bit of difference.
Okay, and we have one more. Sorry, Adam Kinzinger.
No, it's all of them.
10? Was that 10?
No, that was 8, because you asked for 9 over the bottom.
Uh-huh.
Then you asked for the next Adam Kinzinger. Then I went back to 8.
We haven't done 10 yet.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
All right. You know what? I'm tired. Mommy's sleepy. Mommy needs to go take another nap. Oh. Well, he was talking just about the big grift about lying for donations. Yeah. I don't even know what is that. It's fraud. It's all the same frauds he's done before.
It's a bouillabase
Trump
of
University,
fraud.
Trump, whatever its charity was, right? It's wire fraud. I don't even know. Wire fraud. We'll ask Jill. Jill, are you up yet?
I doubt it.
Okay.
And she always looks impeccable.
Yes.
So,
she
even
probably
if
hasn't selected a pin yet.
Yes.
All right.
Her phone was off when I called. So
that never bodes well.
She never does that to me. Okay. Zoe Lofgren.
Well, I don't want to go into the threats I've received. I think it just encourages more of them. But it's very concerning that Adam and his wife and his little baby were threatened. I saw the threat. It was a written threat. We saw that Republican Congressman, very conservative Representative Crenshaw, was roughed up over the weekend at a Republican meeting. because he was not conservative enough. And I think that's what the former president has unleashed here.
Okay, so they're going to call Ginni Thomas, right? I mean, this is.
They've
don't you
invited
feel like
her.
this story has also been out there forever? And like again, mainstream media, where are you? This has been a walking conflict of interest. The fact that Clarence Thomas was the sole vote trying to protect her communication. I'm like, how has he not had to resign or be impeached by now?
True.
First of all, but okay. So a Facebook group that appears to be run by Ginni Thomas could become a new point of interest in the U.S. Select Committee's investigation into January 6th. So John Eastman publicly posted, that was the December 4th email from Thomas asking him to speak at a gathering she called Frontliners, which appears to be this same. But I mean, it all, again, biggest, dumbest plot ever, right? That Eastman was Clarence Thomas' clerks.
Yeah.
And who else? Not just Meadows that she's communicating with, but all these Arizona legislatures. And it obviously comes with who her husband is,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
I'm sure at one point she said, "Don't you know who my
Don't
husband?"
you know who my husband is?
That's right. I'm sure she said that
Yes.
a few times.
Yes. Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, speaking of Watergate, they were asked after the bombshell revelations about Ginni being in contact with coup memo author John Eastman. Who is this? Bernstein said, I think you have to, you've got the very tricky situation where the wife of a Supreme Court justice is very obviously involved in some way in a conspiracy in which there really is a conspiracy to overturn, to try an attempt to coup, to overturn the election results. In some way, her handprints are on this conspiracy, whether benign or not. So we're going into an area where we've never been before in the history of the United States that might involve conversations between Justice Clarence Thomas and his wife involving a conspiracy to defraud the government and perhaps seditious conduct such as the Proud Boys have been charged with. Yeah, it's all, what would they say in Fargo? It's all connected.
Yeah.
Yes. They're looking for
The malfeasance is not just now near Brainerd.
they're looking for a buffet in the downtown area,
Christ, we need a lot check.
as long as it's reasonable.
Right. Eastman seems to have insight of what was going on at the Supreme Court, insight that it was not common knowledge at all. The obvious suggestion, but we don't know if the suggestion is true or not, is that there was a discussion between Clarence Thomas about what the court may be doing and his wife. So what did the justice know and what did his wife know and when did each of them know it? That's really a relevant question, said Bernstein. I mean, we're not just at like, what did the president know and when did he know? We already know.
Yeah.
He knew everything. It's all of these other people that went all the way, not just congressmen, senators, to the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Justice, this coup. I mean, it's, oh God, I hope Merrick Garland was telling the truth when he said we will go to the top, regardless of position.
Let's be thankful it was a failed coup. And
Yes.
and not a coup.
Yeah, you don't
And
get
not
to
a
prosecute
coup.
failed. You don't get to prosecute successful coups, right?
Exactly.
Okay, one more. Zoloff.
We're in a very rough time in America right now. And we, all of us, elected officials, but also just Americans and their neighbors, need to stand up for the rule of law and against political violence. It's not what America is about.
Yeah, well, now it is. I mean, we can't keep saying this isn't America if we allow this.
We keep letting it happen.
Yeah, if we don't vote these treasonous mother out, every single one of them, all of them. New York Times published a 17-minute video showing the Proud Boys coordinating the assault on the U.S. Capitol. Court documents, text messages, hundreds of videos shot by participants show the right-wing militant group instigating multiple breaches of the Capitol as lawmakers certified the election of Joe Biden. 5 members of the group have been charged with seditious conspiracy. Again, and we're going to see all the connections all the way up. It's just, okay. Okay, this guy. One last one. Capitol riot pled guilty to multiple federal charges on Friday, admitting to assaulting police officers with a baton he stole from one of them, bringing a loaded gun with him into the Capitol. He acknowledged he could have ended up in even more serious trouble, telling federal investigators he would be here for another reason if he had been able to find Nancy Pelosi. I mean, and the fact, what was it, 40 feet away? That's how close they were to Mike Pence.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how close all of this came. Okay. Jan in Oregon, real quick. Hey, Jan, welcome.
Hi, Stephanie. Peace and love to you all.
Peace, love, and tie-dye.
I just had a thing about Mike Pence being unemployed now, not vice president, that in his previous job of reprogramming gay people. Can't we make another department where Pence could be head of to reprogram insurrectionists into patriots?
Yes. So, look at you chuckling. He's chuckling at himself. He thought
worked
that
hard
up all
on
on
that.
his
Yeah.
own. Aw. He had a light little chuckle.
He knows about reprogramming.
It's true. Oh my God! First of all, Ginni Thomas was already in a cult. What can I just say? What a crazy bitch she is. Can I just say that?
She's
She
prone
was
to
already in a
crazy.
cult
She
and got
was.
out of a cult, and now she's in the QAnon cult, basically, isn't she?
Yeah.
A cultist is going to cult.
Yeah, culters are going to cult. What are you going to do?
She's an easy mark.
Have you seen this latest? Oh my God, they're trying to make analogies between Stephen Colbert's production team and the insurrectionists. Oh my God. Members of the production team for Late Show with Stephen Colbert were arrested earlier this week by police as they filmed a comedy segment at the U.S. Capitol, an incident that was used by right-wing voices to assail the probe into the January 6th insurrection. They had filmed it was the Triumph the Insult
Comic
dog, and they had permission, and they just stayed later to film pickups and stuff, as you do. You know, we have production here.
We're always staying behind to do film pickups.
Yes, the crew is, yes, as we do here every day at the Stephanie Miller Show.
Yes.
That was a little doughy. Let's refilm
Yeah.
they blah blah blah. After the interviews had concluded Thursday, they team stayed to film stand-ups and other final comedy elements in the hall when they were detained. And so it's just so absurd, right?
Triumph should have pooped on them. Isn't
Right.
that what he was famous for?
Well, there was no actual defecation like the real insurrection. Also, no one died.
True.
And also,
5 people died on January 6th. Why? How did they let anybody spin this as like, oh, this was just a riot
Another
that
day
got
at
out of
the Capitol.
control, or blah, blah, blah.
also these people cooperated with authorities, so
Yes.
there's no...
Jesse Waters ran a chyron saying Schiff implicated in Capitol breach because he was the one that they interviewed in the morning. It's just, right? And then Tucker Carlson said the same thing, that the crew committed insurrection. It was the same as, okay.
No.
Ay. Right, no one died. No poop smearing.
They weren't trying to stop the business of Congress.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
That's saying something coming from Triumph the Insult comic dog. No poop smearing.
Exactly. All right, 48 minutes
They
after
would
the
have just
hour.
been those rubber poops anyways.